Episode 7 was really good. Come on, I know there are a lot of people complaining about season 5 of Rick and Morty, but this was a good episode. And I'm loving seeing Summer and Morty go down a continuously darker and darker path. Morty really seems to be on the wayside this season. I mean, he has had an adventure or two with Rick, but he kind of has been pushed to the side or just outright excluded. And I have a feeling, especially with us seeing how much easier it is for Morty to just straight up murder, that we're going to see him become a just unhinged psychopath by the end of this season. Though isn't he already a monster? Boob World or 𝑔 Morty, I like boobs just as much as the next person, but you can always go to Boob World. You can't always find a 𝑔. Come on. You let everyone down this episode. But going back to Morty becoming a monster, we see Summer getting closer and closer with Rick, and Rick actually being a lot gentler with her and saying things like calling her princess and like kissing her forehead. And we've seen through the episode, she's just being treated a lot better than Morty ever has, and Rick seems to be siding with Summer more than Morty. I have to think this is also pushing Morty down a darker path of, okay, I've been here since the beginning, I hardly go to school, I do all these things, and then Summer just comes in here and trumps me on everything, and you're constantly praising her and now taking her on more adventures. What the fuck? I think if you are a fan of anime, you probably like this episode at least a little bit, especially if you were into anime in the 90s and early 2000s. Just, there were a lot of Easter eggs and fun little pokes that just delighted my soul. And I was dying when Rick kept saying, attack one at a time, we're teeing something up, wait, we're building to something. And it just, that was the formula, I feel like, with every single episode with things like this. Also, I love the joke about Rick appropriating the culture by taking the 𝑔, because a lot of these stories took place in Japan or were about Japanese people, but they looked very not Japanese, so it just, I felt like that was a fun little poke of, yeah, appropriation. I thoroughly enjoyed the darker moments of this episode. I like darker things in general. If you are ever in a Pathfinder or D&D or World of Darkness campaign where I'm the DM, I'm a sadistic bitch. So putting the centipede's feet in cement buckets and dropping him in the water to drown, oh my god. Watching them go and kill all the 𝑔 original owners. They evacuated an entire planet just to have a secret base. Millions die every day. Meh. Alright. That's fine. The darkest moment of this episode, though, was Summer condoning and allowing Yo-Yo Rick to brutally murder a naked Jerry. Like, Summer did not care at all that that was some version of her dad or looked like her dad, and her grandfather or a version of her grandfather straight up brutally murdered him. I'm glad that they still address the incest baby. I know a lot of times something major happens in the plot of Rick and Morty and then they never talk about it again, or it's just a throwaway line in something. So the fact that the giant incest baby was a big part of this episode, especially towards the end, I loved. I also loved his name, 𝑁𝑚𝑒. Perfect name, Summer. Absolutely perfect. Between Summer and Morty, I don't know how you move on from having a giant incest baby. I guess since they didn't have sex, it's not as bad, but still, you have an incest baby with your sister. I don't know, I feel like conversations would be a little bit awkward between me and another sibling if that happened. Although in fairness, they have done much crazier things, I think, depending on where you rank an incest baby. I love the explanation at the end of why the voiceovers were happening, the little creatures in their ears. A lot of times they don't question why they do meta stuff or things that are different from episode to episode. So the fact that they addressed it, I thought was actually very nice for a change. Jerry was savage this episode, and I'm using the word savage before YouTubers changed it into some weird thing to aspire to be. But yeah, Jerry just was top of his game this episode, because it's fun, you little rat, and then talking about killing himself and Beth so they can get to hell before Summer. I was like, damn, I want this Jerry in more episodes. We've shit on Jerry enough. Let's see this Jerry. The after credits scene was pretty clever, was funny. I sort of don't understand them teaching the cure for AIDS to Earth. I mean, we haven't cured it, but we have it pretty much under control. And I kind of wonder how their cure is going to work with the different ingredients they were mixing in. So is somehow this mixture going to kill the reservoirs of the affected cells? Drive them out and kill them? Or was the ingredients they put together changing the immune cells in the body, or just the immune system in general? I don't know. So I guess, okay, that's in fairness, if they gave us some sort of formula that would do that, it would unlock a bunch of other things, but I don't know. I loved it that they were these giant naked monsters just screaming, but they came to actually help humanity. Because, you know, if aliens came here, someone would take pot shots at them. I like this episode so much that I watched it 2 times in the space of 24 hours. Actually, less than 24 hours. Oh no. But I understand some people may not have liked this episode, so like, subscribe, and definitely let me know in the comment section down below if this episode worked for you or not. If you're liking season 5 or not. I know right now it's kind of mixed. I hear a lot of negativity in the comments, but there are some people that are still loving it, so I'd love to hear where you're at with this season in general and this episode.